Boris Johnson has been warned he faces a Herculean task to keep the Conservative Party in power at 10 Downing Street, as pressure intensifies on the Prime Minister over his government's handling of the coronavirus crisis. Boris Johnson capped off a successful 2019 after sealing a crushing defeat of Jeremy Corbyn and the Labour Party in December's general election, handing him an 80-seat majority in the House of Commons that enabled him to get his Brexit deal voted through the UK Parliament. But while the next general election isn't scheduled to take place until May 2024, the coronavirus crisis sweeping through the UK and the election of Sir Keir Starmer to replace Mr Corbyn as Labour leader has significantly ramped up the pressure. Mr Johnson's Conservative Party government has been heavily criticised for not providing enough personal protective equipment (PPE) to frontline NHS staff, while Sir Keir has been quick to pick holes in apparent discrepancies on the true impact of the pandemic in care homes. He has also come under attack for not enforcing a nationwide lockdown soon enough, as well as for confusing messaging, particularly dropping the stay-at-home slogan in place for the Stay Alert when providing an update on how the UK plans to ease measures that have been in force since March 23. The lockdown has seen businesses close their doors and some even go under, with government pledging hundreds of billions of pounds to support workers through the crisis and desperately plug gaping holes in the economy. But earlier this month, the Bank of England warned the UK economy could shrink by a massive 25% during the April to June quarter, sending the country collapsing to its deepest recession in more than 300 years, while the Office for Budget Responsibility warned the government's response to the coronavirus crisis will cost taxpayers a massive £123.2 billion. Mr Johnson was also dealt a further blow earlier this week when a YouGov poll revealed he has been overtaken by Sir Keir in the approval ratings, despite the Labour leader only being in his top job for 6 weeks. Ben Harris-Quinney, chairman of the Bow Group think tank, warned the government's economic approach means UK was already going into the coronavirus crisis with very little to spend from its own coffers, resulting in a disastrous scenario the economy may never recover from. He told Express, Boris' economic approach, even before coronavirus struck, could have been presented by Gordon Brown. It focused heavily on borrowing and spending, and there was very little to mark it as conservative. The major problem with 2 decades of this approach is it has left borrowing, debt, and deficit levels at record highs. Whilst many think the Conservatives in 2010 implemented austerity, they have actually doubled the national debt in a decade. It means going into the coronavirus crisis, the cupboards are bare, and we face the very real prospect of an economic collapse we may never recover from.